Jenrry Mejía. The only man ever banned for life under MLB's steroid policy, and somehow the least remembered. Jenrry Mejía was a high-octane Mets closer with a knack for late-game drama and an even stronger knack for failing drug tests. His first positive came in April 2015, then July, then again in February. 3 times in less than 1 year, 3 strikes, and he was out. MLB didn't need hearings or hand-wringing. Rule's the rule. 3 PED violations equals automatic permanent ban. Mejía didn't go quietly. He accused MLB of setting him up, claimed coercion, and even filed a lawsuit. It didn't matter. His name was off the roster, off the site, off the map. By 2018, he applied for reinstatement and got it. Rob Manfred gave him another shot, but no team took the bait. Mejía played in the minors, bounced around winter leagues, and vanished from big league radars entirely. His lifetime ban was technically lifted, but symbolically, it stuck. He became a ghost, a cautionary tale wrapped in missed saves and bad blood tests. No tearful interviews, no last hurrah, just an eerie footnote in steroid-era cleanup. In a league where even A-Rod got a redemption arc, Mejia's disappearance says it all. MLB forgives sins, but it forgets ghosts. To Cupita Marcano. He wasn't a star. He barely cracked the lineup. But on June 4th, 2024, Tucupita Marcano made history in the worst way possible, becoming the first active player since Jimmy O'Connell to receive a lifetime ban for gambling. Marcano, a utility infielder for the San Diego Padres, was rehabbing an ACL tear when he placed 387 bets totaling over $150,000. That number alone is insane, but the kicker? He bet on the Pirates, his own team at the time. Rule 21D is crystal clear. Bet on your own games, even while injured, and it's game over. No rehab assignment, no appeals court, just gone. The league said he showed no evidence of inside information, which somehow made it worse. He wasn't fixing games. He was just dumb. The 24-year-old accepted his punishment without public fight. No statement, no interview, just another MLB gambling casualty, and the first of the legal sports betting era to get buried under it. 4 other players got 1-year suspensions for similar sins. Marcano got the chair. The irony? He was never good enough to influence outcomes. But rules don't care about your batting average. He was a fringe player who made 1 elite mistake, and now he's baseball's newest cautionary tale. Trevor Bauer. Not banned, just blacklisted. Trevor Bauer was the reigning Cy Young winner in 2020, the Dodgers' big money arm in 2021, and then nothing. In June of that year, a woman accused him of assault. No criminal charges were filed, but MLB dropped the hammer anyway. A 324-game suspension, the longest non-lifetime ban in league history. Later, an independent arbitrator reduced it to 194 games. Bauer served his time. He was reinstated in late 2022. But the Dodgers cut him, and every other team looked the other way. He tried to fix the narrative, released video evidence, filed defamation lawsuits. One ended with his accuser ordered to pay damages. He posted strikeout montages from Japan and Mexico. Dominated both leagues. Still, the phone didn't ring. Bauer kept pitching, kept talking, but the MLB door stayed closed. In May 2025, after MLB reinstated Pete Rose, Bauer tweeted, "So, does that go for everyone who's been blackballed? No tag, no drama. Just a message from the league's most radioactive free agent. Technically, he's not banned. He's eligible, he's ready. But in practice, he's a pariah." In a sport that claims to value second chances, Bauer's still waiting for a first one. Alex Rodriguez. If anyone was ever functionally banned without a lifetime label, it was A-Rod. Steroid rumors followed him for years, but it wasn't until the biogenesis scandal exploded in 2013 that MLB brought the hammer. Rodriguez was accused of obtaining HGH, testosterone, and more from a shady anti-aging clinic run out of a strip mall. MLB suspended him for 211 games. He appealed. The arbitrator knocked it down to 162, still the longest PED-related suspension ever served. He missed the entire 2014 season, lost $22 million in salary, got dragged in the media, sued the league, sued the union, sued everyone. Then he dropped it all, took the suspension, and disappeared for a year. When he came back in 2015, he was a humbled, slower, oddly likable designated hitter. He hit 33 home runs, played one more year, retired in 2016. And then came the real twist, the redemption arc. The Fox analyst gig, the ESPN booth, the business empire, the attempt to buy the Mets, the full-on rebrand. MLB never banned Alex Rodriguez for life, but they made an example out of him. And somehow, he walked away cleaner than most. The guy who cheated the system, served his sentence, then built a second act anyway. A villain turned venture capitalist. If you remember A-Rod's chaos era, you gotta hit that like button. And hey, subscribe for more wild MLB stories. This one's just the tip of the syringe. Steve Howe. If you looked only at the talent, Steve Howe should have been an elite closer for over a decade. Rookie of the Year in 1980. World Series champ with the Dodgers. Fastball with bite, slider with filth. But baseball doesn't just keep stats, it keeps receipts. And Howe's career was a pharmacy aisle in shambles. Between 1983 and 1992, he was suspended 7 times for drug and alcohol abuse. Not 7 games. 7 full-blown suspensions. Cocaine, booze, the works. MLB finally had enough in 1992 and handed him a lifetime ban. But Howe didn't stay gone. He appealed, won reinstatement, and kept pitching until 1996. That second act was solid. He even had a 1.80 ERA season with the Yankees. But the demons never left. In 2006, Howe died in a car crash with methamphetamine in his system. He was 48. His legacy isn't just about drugs or comebacks. It's about how many times a league will say yes before it finally says no. He was talented enough to keep getting chances, troubled enough to keep blowing them, and lucky enough to beat the ban, until real life issued the final one. Howe's story isn't tragic because of how it ended. It's tragic because he kept getting just close enough to save. Marcell Ozuna. Not banned, just disciplined. Marcell Ozuna, the hulking Braves slugger, former All-Star and 2020 Silver Slugger winner, found himself caught in MLB's domestic violence policy in May 2021. Police say they witnessed him choke his wife, throw her against a wall, and strike her with a casted arm. Felony charges followed, but were later dropped under a diversion program. Still, MLB slapped him with a 20-game suspension, retroactive to the end of the season. No lifetime ban, no ineligible list. But the message was clear. Abuse isn't tolerated. Ozuna sat out 20 games, lost roughly $1.5 million, and entered counseling, community service, and anger management programs to meet diversion conditions. MLB reserved the right to suspend more, but he returned in 2022. He faced boos and pressure, but he also apologized, saying, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake," as he met with teammates and fans. He paid the price and kept playing. No comeback arc here, just a suspension and a slow rebuild. Ozuna remains under league scrutiny. No written ban, but a suspended reputation. A warning label. Domestic violence suspensions aren't excused by stats, wins, or legacy. They're just punished. Jimmy O'Connell. Baseball's first banned babyface. In 1924, Jimmy O'Connell was a 23-year-old outfielder for the New York Giants, just 2 seasons into his big league career when he made one dumb, desperate offer. With the Giants chasing a pennant, O'Connell walked up to Phillies shortstop Heine Sand and casually offered him $500 to take it easy in an upcoming game. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't smart. Sand reported it immediately, and within days, O'Connell was suspended and summoned by Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Landis ran the league like a courtroom, and a dictatorship rolled into one. No trial, no jury, just a decision. O'Connell and coach Cozy Dolan were banned for life. No wiggle room. Meanwhile, Hall of Famers Frankie Frisch and George Kelly, who were allegedly in the loop, walked away clean. O'Connell never played another MLB game. 2 years, .270 average, and then oblivion. In 2025, MLB finally lifted O'Connell's ban, 102 years after the crime and 55 after his death. Too late to matter, but just in time for trivia night. His legacy? A cautionary tale with training wheels. He didn't throw a game, he just tried to. And in baseball, even an offer can end a career before it really starts. Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays. Two of the most iconic names in baseball history. Hall of Famers, legends, and yes, technically banned. In 1983, both Mantle and Mays were hired by Atlantic City casinos as greeters. Not bookies, not dealers, just guys shaking hands, posing for pictures, signing autographs. But MLB Commissioner Bowie Kuhn saw even that as a threat to the game's integrity. Rule 21 says no involvement with gambling. None. So Kuhn banned them from any official MLB capacity. Not from Cooperstown, not from the record books, but from coaching, scouting, appearances, any front office ties. A soft exile, but exile all the same. Fans were livid, teammates confused. The idea that Mickey Mantle, Mr. Yankee, couldn't show up at Old Timers Day felt absurd. Same for Mays, who literally still had speed in his legs. Mays was banned in 1979 and Mantle in '83. The bans didn't last long. In 1985, new commissioner Peter Ueberroth reversed them both. Just like that, two of the game's most famous faces were back in the fold. This wasn't a moral failing, it was optics. MLB feared the shadow of gambling so much it'd rather look ridiculous than risk a headline. The lesson: even legends get the cold shoulder if they flirt too close to the casino lights. If you think banning Mickey freaking Mantle for shaking hands was wild, drop a like. And sub for more baseball stories that make zero sense but actually happened. Ferguson Jenkins. This one's complicated. Jenkins wasn't banned for what he did on the field. He was banned for what Canadian Customs found in his bag. In 1980, while playing for the Texas Rangers, Jenkins was caught with cocaine, hashish, and marijuana in Toronto. He said it wasn't his. Canadian authorities charged him, but the case was eventually dropped after a year of legal ping pong. MLB, however, didn't wait for due process. Commissioner Bowie Kuhn dropped a suspension on him, indefinite and immediate. Jenkins didn't go quietly. He appealed. The MLB Players Association backed him hard. An independent arbitrator overturned the suspension, ruling that Kuhn acted without just cause. Jenkins returned to the game in 1981 and pitched 2 more seasons before retiring in 1983. He finished with over 3,000 strikeouts, 284 wins, and a ticket to Cooperstown. So, was he banned? Technically, yes, but it didn't stick. His case was a turning point in how player discipline worked, proof that the commissioner's word wasn't always final. Jenkins never tested positive, never failed to perform, and never missed a beat after the ordeal. He became the first Canadian in the Hall of Fame and remains one of baseball's most quietly resilient icons. A ban that didn't end him, just tested him. Denny McLain. He won 31 games in 1968, the last pitcher to ever cross that threshold. A 2-time Cy Young, an MVP, and a World Series champ. But Denny McLain wasn't just a pitcher. He was also a gambler, hustler, piano player, and all-around chaos magnet. By 1970, his off-field habits were catching up. Reports surfaced that he was part of a bookmaking operation. Not betting, running it. Commissioner Bowie Kuhn suspended him for the first 3 months of the season. Then again for carrying a gun. Then again for dumping water on 2 sports writers. That's 3 separate suspensions in 1 year. Kuhn didn't drop a lifetime ban, but McLain never really came back. The Tigers shipped him to Washington. His ERA ballooned. His velocity vanished. By 1972, he was out of the league at just 28. A soft ban in practice, if not in writing. After baseball, things got darker. In the 80s, he went to prison for drug trafficking, embezzlement, racketeering. Then again in the 90s for stealing from a pension fund. He's technically not on any ineligible list. But Denny McLain might be the best example of a guy too wild for even MLB to formally ban. Because the game didn't need to. He self-destructed before they could hit send. Baseball bans aren't handed out often, but when they are, they're final. This isn't a sport that lets scandals simmer. It buries them, quietly, permanently. From Jenrry Mejia's 3-strike steroid exile, to Tucupita Marcano's betting implosion, to Jimmy O'Connell's 1920s bribe attempt that reads like a bad mob novel, MLB's message has stayed the same for over a century. Don't test the integrity clause. Some players come back. Steve Howe appealed and pitched again. Alex Rodriguez took the heat and spun it into a media empire. Trevor Bauer, still waiting on hold. MLB doesn't always ban the guilty, and it doesn't always forgive the reformed. What it does is protect the brand. Gambling, drugs, violence, cross certain lines, and the league won't even say your name in public. It'll just hit delete. And for fans, these stories are more than footnotes. They're emotional fine print on the myth of baseball purity. Every ban says something, not just about the player, but about the league they left behind. The rules are clear, the legacy, not so much. I'm going to be making a lot more videos like this, so please subscribe. Thanks.